So you have come to the time of your life where you get to decide what you get to do when you leave high school. Whether you take a gap year or you go to university, but you're just so unsure. Luckily for you, I've done both. And in today's video, I want to weigh up both the pros and cons of both because it is not a fair argument unless you compare and contrast both options. But if you're new here, hello, my name's Sarah G, and this is my corner of the universe where I sit down with no script, just me and the camera and my thoughts. And today's Yap Sesh topic is whether or not university or gap year, and the pros and cons of both. So grab a cup of coffee, go for a walk, do whatever it is you are doing, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into it. So a little bit of context about me. I actually took 2 gap years when I left school. Initially it was gonna be 1, but it ended up turning into 2. And then I went to university at the start of last year, where I am in my 2nd year at Otago Uni, and I absolutely love it. Not to say that I didn't love my gap years, I absolutely loved it, but there are so many pros and cons to both, and it is so hard. I know the feeling when you are 16, it's kind of shoved upon you that you are finishing school very soon and that you get to make a decision and you need to make a decision, and it feels like there's a lot of pressure and you go, I don't know what to do. I understand it's a very stressful time and it's a very confusing time as well, just nature of being a teenager and nature of being 16, 17, but yeah. So I'm gonna start with the pros of the gap year. I am 100% pro gap year, and there are so many pros just to a gap year. The first one is life skills. Whether you do anything, I went abroad for mine, whether you work, whether you volunteer, go traveling, just do whatever it is that you want to do. There are so many life skills that you gain. I gained so many life skills. I learned how to be an adult. I learned how to stand on my own 2 feet. I learned how to budget. That's a big one that comes in such handy nowadays. But I'm a broke student, apparently. Like, just being able to learn about finances and money and stuff, and also learning about the real world. I spent the year living and working in London, and during that time I learned a lot about what it is to have a job. I mean, not saying that I didn't have a job in high school, I did, but what it is to work full time and to just be part of the real world. There's so many life skills that can just come with not being in high school and also just not being at university. And I think there's a lot, I sort of take a step back, and when I'm sort of thinking about things that have sort of come up in my degree, I have the appropriate life skills that I learned on my gap years to sort of cope with these things, where I've seen some peers of mine not cope so much. People who went to university straight away. Number 2, freedom of choice. There is so much freedom that comes with just not being in school, not being studying, not being locked down. I had so much freedom. Even though I had a job, I felt so free. Like, when I got on that plane, I felt so free. Even if you're just working at home, there's still this element of freedom. Like, you can literally do what you want. Yes, you probably most likely will have a job. I did do a bit of traveling in my gap year, my 2nd gap year, and that was the epitome of freedom. But there is still this freedom that I felt, and also it gives you space, breathing space, to be able to actually sit down with yourself and be like, what do I actually want to do? If I want to go to university, do I actually want to do that? It gave me this sort of time and energy to sort of actually fully sit down and figure out what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to go to uni. That was 100% on the cards. It just wasn't at that moment I left school. And bugger me days, I actually found out what I wanted to study, and for those interested, I study a PPE, minoring in Spanish, politics, philosophy, and economics. And I had no idea that this degree even existed until I actually went traveling and I met people and sort of was thinking about, do I do law or politics? I was sort of interested in those sort of spheres, but then I met someone who sort of changed the way I thought. Number 3, you earn so much money. Now, like I said, a lot of people on their gap years, they just stay at home and work, and that is good because in New Zealand, or probably just most places, university is so expensive. Having a higher education costs a lot of money. And it's really cool that if you did decide to take a gap year and work and save for your degree, you are so much better off than the rest of your peers, trust me. I mean, I'm in debt right now, and I kind of go, oh, I could have actually stayed at home and saved a lot of money and then gone to university with that money. Because, if thinking about New Zealand minimum wage, if I did work full-time in New Zealand for a year, I probably would have been able to save enough to cover probably majority of my course, my 3-year degree, which is quite cool as well, because a lot of people get put off the idea, especially now, fees free, might be gone, might be cut. For those who don't know, it's where we would get our last year of university covered from the government. That is not happening anymore from our government. So I see there's like an incentive that a lot of people find university a waste of money, which I will get back and I will talk more about this. 4, confidence. Oh my goodness me. I was a bit of a nobody in school. I think a lot of people can relate to this. There's a whole like no one really knew who I was. And then I left and I became so confident. I became such a confident version of myself. And yeah, that was probably my favorite learning curve of my gap year, because I had to figure things out by myself. I had to, go up and talk to people, adults, you just left school and I'm talking to like 40-year-olds. Like, it was a bit stressful, but I learned how to be so confident in my own self. And I think that's really cool, especially as a woman, just to be really confident and to be a badass, independent woman. Like, it's so good. I cannot recommend it enough. And it's just really awesome that I carry myself in such a confident way and that I don't feel self-conscious about things. I mean, obviously everyone has moments, but my gap years taught me so much about myself. And even if you are just working, but trust me, like when you leave school, things just open up, like your horizons broaden, which comes to my 5th pro, is your horizons do broaden. Whether it is you do get to learn so much about the real world and what it means to be an adult. But I learned a lot on my travels, living and working in London. I met so many people and it's just, I miss it so much. Especially when I went to Europe and traveled and did all that. Like, I just saw so much of the world. And New Zealand's a really small, isolated country. I mean, it's literally at the bottom of the globe and it's so far away from just everywhere. And I just learned so much about different cultures, different people, different backgrounds, different ways of life as well. As New Zealand, it's very sort of pushed on us that you go to university, you go get a job, mortgage, house, kids, family, etc., work-life balance. But there's just so many different ways of living. I just think it broadens your horizons. Now for the cons. Con number 1 is FOMO. Your friends are going to uni. They're in the halls, they're having fun, they're drinking, they're partying, they're meeting new people, and you go, I'm just working full time. I felt this one very prevalently in my 2nd gap year when I came home. I was working and living at my parents' house and all my friends were partying and having fun at university, and I was like, damn, I kind of wish I went to university this year. Like, I understand that is such a thing that people do fear of missing out. Like, it's so genuine. Like, it's quite, especially when you're 18, like, and people do, a lot of your high school friends maybe going to university and you just go, damn, I want to be out partying, but instead I've got work tonight. That is a big con for a lot of people, and I think that's why a lot of people decide to follow the crowd. And the second one is being a year behind your peers, or even 2 years behind your peers. This one doesn't really bother me, it's not like, I just feel like it's not really one, but it definitely is a con, is that I am 2 years behind my peers, the people I went to school with. Actually, this is quite funny, but a lot of people in my year group actually dropped out of high school because of COVID, etc., etc. But yeah, I am 2 years behind essentially. But I don't think this is like a big one. For some people this is, especially if you are wanting to do something like law or medicine, where they are quite long degrees. But yeah, I don't really see this as like a big con. I mean, I sort of see my peers, my group, as like the people I do university with, even though I am a couple years older than them. Yeah, I don't really see that as a big one. Number 3 is you actually may not go to university at all. I have a friend who did a gap year and then actually never ended up going to university, got a job and doesn't even want to go. And that is totally fine, like that is okay. But if you were someone that was so hard set on getting a higher education and you sort of don't go to university, that could be a con. Sometimes life does actually get in the way, but like I said, it's a very at the end of the day, it's your life. And whether you choose not to go to university or you go very later in life, that is up to you. Overall, I am 100% pro gap year. Those were very minimal cons. I'm sure some people can find more though. But those are the cons that I sort of found going through my gap year, but to reiterate, 100% pro gap year. Now let's talk about uni, the pros of university. So I came a little bit later, ahead of the crowd, and there's so many reasons why people do choose to go to university straight off the bat. One of them being they might have scholarships. Scholarships can actually be deferred for a year. In New Zealand, I don't know what's like in other countries, probably the same. But a lot of people they don't want to waste their scholarship. You know, some people get those insane scholarships where they get put into the halls of residence, their entire first year is covered, or maybe even their entire degree. And I can understand that. Like if you were very smart and you have a scholarship, that is a pro of going to university. And sort of following on from that is that people just want to get it out of the way. I have talked to so many people, and I think this is a really shallow sort of line of thinking, that they want to get university like done and dusted. Like they go, oh, well, I'll graduate at 21 and then I can do whatever I want after that. And I go, yeah, I get that. Like that's a very valid reason to go to university. A little bit shallow. I don't think education is something to just get out of the way. But yeah, no more thoughts on that one. Number 3 is networking. Networking's so good at university, especially at somewhere like Otago where a lot of people do come. A lot of international students come here as well. It's probably better in other universities, I'm sure. But networking's so high, especially in my degree. It's very niche, and I've definitely made like that's a big tip at university, like make the most of those events because networking does come in handy. And especially in New Zealand, what do we know about New Zealand? Oh, it's all about who you know, and that's how a lot of people make it far in this tiny 5 million people country. Number 4 is you do go to like university with your friend group, you're in the same year, you've got friends, so you're not like fully alone. Obviously you make friends at uni, but a lot of people like going to uni with their friends. I actually still have friends. My entire friend group is still actually at university. We graduate the same year, so even though I'm like 2 years behind, we still actually graduate in the same year group. But I can definitely see why a lot of people do follow their friends. Then number 5 is having higher education is always beneficial. It's always good. Going to university is awesome. I'm gonna make a video about this, but it's not always about learning. There's so many skills that comes with university, and it's just always a fun time. Like I'm loving uni as well, and it's been really good. And yeah, so an investment in your education, or just it's an investment in yourself at the end of the day, because you do learn a lot and it's cool. Now for the cons. Number 1, not prepared. Oh my goodness gracious me. Some people actually go to university at 17. Whoa. I think a lot of people go to university so unprepared for what it's going to bring them. A lot of people, it's a big change. They move cities. Some people just literally know no one. And it can be a bit of a culture shock, especially when people come from Auckland to Dunedin. It is a bit of a cold culture shock as well. And some people just aren't prepared for what university throws at them. The expectation, the time management thing, the whole thing that university is very self-managed. I think a lot of people straight from high school, I know I would have struggled with this because high school is so regimented that they would have struggled with that a lot. And I just don't think that's it takes a lot to get into it. They say that that's why you should take 3 papers in your first semester, is because it's a lot to adjust to. And I think without like the appropriate life skills, it can be a lot. Number 2, the obvious, the debt. Oh my goodness. The debt is crazy. The debt is something that looms, for sure. It definitely sits at the back of your mind whenever you skip a lecture, you're like, I'm skipping $200. I'm wasting $200 for this. I don't actually know. Someone should do the maths on how much a lecture costs. It's probably around that, I don't know. But you go, whoa, like the debt is looming. It's really looming. And also the debt is just so much higher. Like it's expensive in New Zealand to go to university. It's definitely like become a bit more of a private commodity. But the debt is not ideal. And I'm just gonna leave it there. Number 3, a lot of people do this. It was more sort of prevalent when we had fees free in the first year. But a lot of people wasted their first year. Like I said, some people started doing law or medicine, didn't get in, changed their entire degree. And I think that's just so boring to just waste a first year. People just went because all their friends were going and they're like, I'll just pick a random degree, eeny, meeny, money, mo, we'll do history or politics. Didn't like it. So they just wasted the whole first year. And some people even dropped out anyway. So I was like, what was even the point of that exercise? And I just feel like that's just a bit, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one actually, because I just said investment in your education is always good. But if you're wasting a whole first year, I just don't think university is used properly. Number 4 is some people simply don't enjoy it. University is hard. It is so fun, but it is not easy. It is hard, it's challenging, it's stressful. Some things come up and you have to sort of deal with them. Sometimes your parents aren't here and you do have to actually like face it by yourself. And also the deadlines, the self-management thing, some people, the finance thing, like I said, debt, it's expensive. Some people don't have jobs, part-time jobs, so they have to like deal with the finances, and it is stressful. And some people really just don't enjoy uni. Some people find it really lonely and boring and just a waste of time. And I think that's definitely something to sort of be aware of, that it might not be for you. And it is for some people. And I think there can be a lot of sort of, what's the word? There can be a lot of sort of comparing to other people, because everyone's on a different sort of journey. That like, say your classmate is having the best time of your life and your other classmates are having the best time, and you go, well, why aren't I having the best time? It's because like, yeah, it's okay to admit if you actually hate university. But that is just one of the cons. But my overall verdict, pro gap year. I'm sorry. I just think a gap year is just the best thing, especially when you leave high school. It is literally the best thing. I cannot sort of rave about it enough. It changed my life. It changed, like, it will probably change your life too. I just don't think I was ready to sort of admit that I actually, you know what? I didn't want to go to university straight off the bat. I spent my entire school senior years in COVID. I needed freedom from the books. I needed to be out in the world. And I'm so glad I did it. There is not one part of me that regrets going to university straight away. There's not one part of me that regrets. And also about the scholarship thing, by the way, you can actually apply for scholarships later in, like, you can apply. Like, there's no age limit to the scholarships. But I'm 100% pro gap year. So I hope this helps, and thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have the best week, have the best day ever, and I will see you very, very soon. Goodbye.